watching Tabletop Legends. If you like the episode, subscribe to this channel and click the bell icon to enable notifications. A new episode goes up every Monday. You can also join us live on the Proficiency Bonus Twitch channel every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Enjoy. Hello, welcome to tonight's episode of Tabletop Legends. Holy moly, am I off center? Oh, the internet is not going to be happy about this. I'll keep going. Somebody's going to have to turn my camera. You're going to have to turn the whole PVC thing has got to turn.
I'm going to shake every other camera.
Oh, yeah. All right, so...
Adam's the DM today. It's fine.
Welcome to... that's probably worse than it was before.
Welcome to Please stand by.
Alright, wait, I think it's good.
Welcome to Earthquake
the rig is
Simulator.
still shaking, so...
That'll stop on its own. Alright, I'm only like a little off center. I'll just like scooch this way, it'll be fine.
You just leave.
Oh boy. Well, as I was saying, welcome to tonight's episode of Tabletop Legends. This is a very special episode 20 Redux. As if you were one of the folks joining us last week, you may have witnessed last week's episode being a huge steaming pile of garbage where the cameras didn't work for about 2.5 out of the 3 hours that we streamed for. So we've basically decided we're just gonna scrap that session. We didn't really advance the plot all that much, so we're just gonna keep like a couple of the key elements of stuff that happened, and then kind of just jump right back into it today, and that will forever be the episode lost to time. So before we jump into tonight's episode, I would like to give a shout out to our sponsors, Team MZ, Many-Sided Dice, the Twitch affiliate program, and Streamlabs for supporting small streamers like us here at Proficiency Bonus. Tonight's episode of Tabletop Legends is also brought to you by Marble Moon Studios and the 8th House, as well as Little Dragon Corp. And we will hear about those guys a little bit later on in the show, so stick around. Be sure to hunt us down on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok now. You're younger than all of us. Do you know how to use TikTok? Because we don't. It's real not good. We need to find a youngin'.
We need an intern.
We need an intern.
We need an unpaid intern.
Send your applications for an unpaid internship to Tabletop Legends at, I don't know.
Mail.com.
Just write Tabletop Legends on an envelope and put it in the mail with yours.
Put it in a bottle and throw it into the sea. We'll get it.
Wait, don't. There's plenty of stuff in the
trash
sea.
in the sea.
Yeah, like if you have a bottle,
Put it in
just
a
please
biodegradable bottle and throw it into the sea.
We're gonna get that letter for sure.
Yep.
Befriend a horse. Tie it to the horse. We will befriend that horse in the future.
Proceed. Where are you going with this? How's it gonna get from the horse to us?
Then you just go, yeah, you hit the horse and it runs off.
And hope it doesn't hit you.
Eventually, one of
And
these
20 episodes from now, Kel summons it.
20 episodes from now, a horse will
they
come
just
through
have
the
a natural instinct. They get to where they need to go.
That's how the Pony Express.
Alrighty, so we'll hit a quick recap and then we will jump right into it. So we rejoined the party, still in the capital city of Niveria, kind of doing their assorted business before they prepare to head out on their first relic hunting mission offered by the collective of the Arcane Eye. They did a little bit of shopping, kind of took care of some things they needed to take care of in the city up to this point. Kel visited the library, the Royal Library. Nuala has been borderline stalking a pair of city guards.
Borderline.
It's not borderline.
It's
Paper's being drawn up. We're gonna have to go to the back to the DNB to get a restraining order.
Walter has received a missive from his employer at the Moxham Trading and Mercantile Company that he has a little bit of a mission to undertake that he's just sort of like floated out there to the group at this point. Bram, who has had a package of some sort to deliver who turned out to be a member of the Mithlindian Parliament, has procured everybody an invitation to a fancy gala in honor of the Member of Parliament's daughter's 16th birthday. We rejoin the group tonight as they are at 28 Dorset Street, kind of getting dressed, getting ready, and about to head over there for the event. So, you guys are all kind of together in the quarters now. Some of you are perhaps dressed already. Some of you are not. Ronnie was not feeling well, but promptly vomited all the bad juju out and is now feeling much better.
There's just a smoldering crater out there.
Am I wearing this dress? Which dress am I wearing?
Whichever dress you want to wear.
Is there a nice gold one?
Check.
Or a yellow
You
one?
want me to roll for dresses?
Yeah, roll for dresses.
What do we roll?
Let's just roll a d20 for dresses.
It'd be a 4.
So the only thing, Ronnie, in your size that Bram has is a, the, like, old-timey Victorian, like, wire-framed
Ball gown dress.
ball gown dresses? Yeah, that's the only thing he's got that will fit you. It is puce.
Oh no.
Goes nicely with Alar's burnt orange, frilly nightmare.
Is it too late to go out and buy something?
Where's my dress?
Should I roll for another dress?
You can roll for another dress, I guess, if you want.
If this is where I get the nat 20.
Right.
That's a 19. So.
So you guys are like discussing this. Ronnie's complaining about her like dumb, ugly dress, and then like everything goes into like slow motion, and there's like a 90s romance song plays as Nuala like descends the stairs.
Are there sparrows following me? Like lifting up?
Yeah, sure.
Who has minor illusion?
Sparrows follow
Oh, yeah.
her.
Minor illusion. There's a couple of sparrows. Everything goes into soft focus around you.
Yeah, she like takes off her glasses in slow motion.
Morgan's on your horn for no reason.
I mean, that's maybe detracts from the scene a little bit. Like
Oh,
a
yeah.
giant carrion bird riding her down the stairs.
Why do you have Scooter? Where have you been? Give me.
Where's all the wind coming from? We're indoors. What?
I guess I grabbed a puce dress and I storm off to wear it.
Sorry, I only have one nice dress and she didn't.
Kel, as we fully established last week, is dressed like a small sailor lad.
Yup.
Like a jaunty hat with a little...
I look like Captain Crunch.
Okay!
Yes. Accepted.
Excellent.
I have dressed as Walter today. So,
Nice.
easy mode.
Alrighty, you have a... So you have a giant powdered wig.
Yes.
What does the rest of your regalia look like?
Big, like,
How big are your shoulder pads?
huge. I have like a red coat with like huge gold epaulets with like the fringe and whatever.
Okay.
And like the sash.
The 80s would be proud.
Ceremonial like fancy sword. I have like, the powdered wig and then like a really big tricord hat with just like 1,000 feathers in it.
So, like,
Do you have, like-
My Chemical Romance meets, like...
Do you have like powdered
powdered to like
Rosy
rosy
cheeked,
cheeked,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I got the rouge on there.
Full lead
Like-
paint and everything.
like definitely revolutionary
Yeah.
France?
Are your calves bare?
Yeah, I get the really high socks.
Okay. All right. Well, everybody dressed up to the nines.
Well,
Like,
some of us are
Well-
dressed up to the 3s.
To be fair,
Some of us are dressed up to the 4s. Some of us are dressed up to the 19s.
Please, I'm a 9, thank you.
In the right lighting, she's a solid 9 in that dress.
Yeah, utter darkness.
All right. Well, anything else anybody needs to do before you guys head out?
gift.
Crap.
Uh,
What are 16-year-old girls like? You were once a 16-year-old girl. What did you like?
Sugar.
Sugar?
1 sack of sugar? Didn't you just buy 2?
A tart?
Something else?
Maybe that 16-year-old boy is like
What's
tarts.
still open?
we're about to find out.
Yeah, we're about to find out. To the market.
Do you have costume jewelry?
Do I have costume jewelry? Of course I do.
Probably a piece of costume jewelry would be fine.
Should daughter of Parliament.
Yeah, should we daughter of Parliament? Gonna be real jewelry.
Yeah.
Let's go see what's open.
Wow, what
Like
what
I
are you
said
looking for?
before,
What
to the
kind-
market.
What kind of establishment are you looking for?
Whatever's open.
You're not gonna put the impetus of figuring out what theme your gift is on
a
me.
guy. You always know a guy.
Clothing
Know a guy.
store.
You tell me what you're looking for, I'll tell you if you find a shop.
Clothing
You find
store.
meat butchers
Clothing
around
stall.
Fine steak.
Basic jewelry, nothing. Not fine jewelry. Just
Yeah, sure. You head over to the market. You're looking for sort of a
or
a jewelry shop. Heading into if you head over to like the trade district, you know that probably any jewelers, jewelry shops, trinket shops you're gonna find there are gonna be more in your price range, whereas like a much more expensive jeweler shop would be in probably in like the upper ward. You do pass as you guys are like approaching a decent looking jeweler's stall, just as the woman in the stand begins to like shut down for the day. A guy like comes out of an alleyway between two of the tents, and he has like a trench coat on, and he's like, "Can I interest you in any fine Omaha steaks?"
Sure.
his trench coat full of loose steaks.
I'm gonna mage hand over a silver and then like drop it in a pocket and then mage hand one of the steaks away.
Okay.
I don't want to touch them with my actual hands.
I don't know what I'm.
He's like, "What?" As you begin to like mage hand the steak, he's like, "What are you doing? These are the samples. These are the show floor steaks.
Can I grab 2?
I don't know.
These ones are not for sale. That's what I just said. If
I
you
don't
would
know
like
what I'm
to purchase some fine
more
Omaha
concerned
steaks,
These
about.
are samples.
I have prepackaged ones."
I don't know what I'm more
What are we
concerned
gonna do
about.
with
The
these while we're
fact
at the
that
party?
he's carrying steaks around, or the fact that he's only wearing steaks.
Or the
As
fact
clothing.
that we're buying them.
We're not.
I'm not
Nobody said we're
buying
buying. We're just taking a test.
You already did.
Well, that's him. That's his
I-
personal
well,
choices.
It's just a silver.
You want to
I
buy
would
dick
like to
steak?
conjure
Five silver buys you the premium package. 1 gold piece will buy you the executive black crate of Omaha steaks. you can send them as a gift to a friend as a monthly subscription box.
I would like to roll sleight of hand to conjure Scooter behind the gentleman.
Walter, I don't know if it's racist if you don't buy the black ones or if you do. I don't know.
23. So
Is this guy human?
Yes.
Okay.
Is he wearing clothes?
Small steaks.
It's outside of the steak trench coat.
Is it a
he
Lady
does-
Gaga thing?
No, he has normal like clothing on. He just does have like a
My
trench
God, he's
coat.
wearing a meat
He
speedo.
has like a trench coat full of meats.
It's a fine rig you have there, sir.
You're a pervert, Walter.
What do I get for a silver?
Well, for a silver, I can get you one fine delivery of steaks. They have this. It includes 15 different cuts of our finest Omaha steaks.
15, really? What are all? Name all 15. I would like to know.
I close my eyes just as if I can't believe we're actually doing this, and I'm going to look through Scooter's eyes at the.
Incidentally, we're running a mystery box special. There's 15 different cuts of steak, but you don't know what they are. I don't know what they are, certainly.
That sounds like.
There are 15 different.
silver to me.
There's
I'll take
15
the mystery
different
box.
meats in there, but
One mystery
only
box.
the gods know what kinds of meats they are.
Yeah, I'll take that mystery box. Can you deliver it to the House of Parliament?
No.
That's how we get
I
arrested.
cannot.
That's how we get arrested. No.
Yes.
Are these sticks for you? Are we solving our problem or not? I kind of don't want to send.
Look, I'm not the one who said they wanted to find meats or butcher when they were back at the other place. This is your fault, if anyone's.
Is his trench coat a nice trench coat?
No, it's real dirty. I mean, it's full of meat. How, like, what?
I was wondering if they were hicks or something.
Right. I do wish. I finally opened my eyes. I do wish to point out you appear to have a slight vermin problem with your stack there. As he looks up and there's Scooter staying on top of his.
He looks just like. It's not my first rodeo, buddy. You think I never seen a celestial weasel before? I know a familiar when I look at one.
That's not a vermin problem. That's future inventory.
Oh.
I'm gonna knock her off down the street.
All right,
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, all right. Walter, you buy the box of mystery meat.
Deliver it to 26 Dorset.
Good thing we're staying at 28.
28?
The neighbor's gonna get some weird boxes.
26 Dorset, done! Good day to you, sir! And he, like, melds back into the alleyway.
Oh my god.
Is that a vending machine?
This just leads right to a brick wall. How did he do that?
He was never here the whole time.
So you approach the jewelry stall. There is a halfling woman. She's kind of in the process of like packing up her wares. She has a bunch of like rings and bracelets and bangles and different things. Primarily, they are like lesser gems. The lessers of the precious metals. There's like some copper and some silver, but probably not pure silver. Probably like plated. Various odds and ends. This is certainly a step above Bram's like garbage costume jewelry, which anybody who's wearing it is actively like their skin is turning green under these costume rings as they speak.
Which is why.
Which it doesn't matter on him. That's
Yeah,
why
that's
it was fine for him. But you guys are.
When you went like this, I imagine ring pops.
She's like kind of packing up. She sees you approach. She like kind of takes in all of you for a moment. Just
Parasol.
I was just closing up for the night. You all seem to be off to a rather festive occasion. Were you interested in something before I put everything away?
Yes, if you are willing to stay up a few moments longer.
Of course.
Look over some things. Something with looking for something with an unusual design or something that might just scream young debutantes.
What do you think a 16-year-old girl would like?
Preferably in tourmaline.
Let's see.
Or spin out? That's the wrong birthstone, Alar.
Good point.
What are you talking about?
As a man with a very refined knowledge of
Rocks.
geology. Something for a 16-year-old girl, a debutante, you say?
Yes.
I don't. She has the same voice as the meat guy always.
Oh my god, he's the meat guy! Wait, were you just a meat guy?
Like takes off her wings. He's like, ah, more sticks. All of my jewelry are made out of sticks. Can I interest you in a necklace made entirely of meatballs?
No.
No. So she pulls out a tourmaline was what you really were?
Tourmaline.
So she takes out a necklace with a it's a kind of a simple like a hempen rope string to it, but the end is a charm made of tourmaline that is carved into a abstract, so like an intricate kind of interlocking design, like the stone has been carved to create the illusion of like several intertwined bands of stone, even though it's all one solid piece. It's not like a particular symbol of anything, it's just kind of an interesting little abstract charm.
Did you make this?
How watermelony is it?
How watermelony is it? It's not a ring pop.
What even question is that? Is there any anything still open that's got like parchments and like a
Wrapping paper?
no, like a stationery? Got stationery?
As it just so happens, my other product, stationery wrapping paper. She's a neat guy again. I forgot.
I'm like,
I'm real distracted.
He pops out of the other alley.
Wouldn't you know? That happens to be my other stall is a fancy parchment.
Yes, okay. I'll take 10 pages of fancy parchment.
All right. And did you want the necklace?
How much, if I may?
10 silver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any other like chains?
No, she says I could certainly change it onto a. Let's see, with the coloration of this, perhaps a silver chain
Done.
would be a little better. Sorry. Well, in that case, 1 gold for the necklace with the alternate chain, and the stationery will be 4 copper.
Okay. You got any fancy inks or am I finding some?
No, I don't. I don't carry. I don't happen to carry inks.
It's not back home first.
All right.
You have something nicer than this.
I grabbed the stack of papers and I'm like, I will meet you guys back here in 10 minutes. And I run off.
She says, no, I sell trinkets and parchment. Apparently, I do not have. I don't have dresses.
Do you have any gold paint?
Are you going to paint your dress a different color?
No.
No, I don't think I have any gold paint. Sorry. Just trinkets and parchment paper.
Alright, I go like this. No.
Okay. Alrighty, so you guys procure your items. Bram runs back to the house as you.
Horrifying thought. This man in a powder wig just sprinting, with
Doing
paper.
this.
Out of the way! 16-year-old girl emergency!
Holding the tricorn hat in one hand.
You're like 8 feet tall.
I'm almost 8 feet tall.
As you come back down the stairs, having procured your inks for your fancy parchment and head back to go and catch up with the group, you just hear from 2 doors down from the Collective of the Arcane Eyes doorstep. You just hear somebody like, "We didn't order any meat. I don't want this. Listen, lady. I was paid good money. You will take this mystery box."
As I'm running by, I'm like, that was us. Sorry. We'll take the meat. Just leave it with the butler guy.
Sprint off in the opposite direction.
I'm just picturing
He's like
Stanfield
writing,
with this
he's writing
growing
as
look
he's
of
running.
horror. As this
All
gentleman
right.
comes up with the box of meat, Stanfield's just like,
Make a performance check at disadvantage to see how well you write your note while sprinting.
Not a note, but we'll see.
Or whatever you're writing.
You'll see. 2 20s!
Why would you use one? Why would you use one that?
Don't move him. Give me. Take a picture. God damn it!
1 in 400, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
beautiful
Are you keeping whatever that was a secret for now? Okay.
I will tweak this up for.
Okay.
It's in beautiful.
Jesus Christ.
I'm going to improvise and look through this nice outfit for a handkerchief, and I'm going to tie up the use it as a makeshift package for the.
Okay, no problem. All right, so you guys all get back together. You've got your gift. You've got whatever the hell Brom's doing, and you head off towards the upper ward, towards the directions that you were given. Heading for the estate of one.
Could not have gone better.
The estate of one Conrad Delker. Cartwright Delker. Even I Jason called him Conrad Delker about 14 times in our text message the other day, and now I can't even remember his name. Cartwright Delker.
Conrad is his brother.
Yeah.
He's also at the party.
The estate house Oak Crest Manor in the Upper Ward. As you kind of make your way through, you present your writ from before to the guards at the gate of the Upper Ward to get in. Follow the instructions on your invitation, and you find yourself approaching the estate. It appears to be set on about 2 acres of land. Probably a little less than half of which is dominated by the large, elegant manor house, which sits set back a little bit away from the street. A high wall, brick wall, with a strip at the top of the brick portion. There's like a strip of like wrought iron. I don't know what you would call that, like pointy spikies.
Sense.
This is like it's like a piece of wrought iron fence at the top of this high wall. Obviously intended to keep people from like climbing over the fence, but it's not like it's not like Castle Grayskull. Like it's nice, it's fancy. Surrounds the perimeter of the estate. It's about 15 feet to the top of it on all sides. Spaced evenly along the outside wall, there are these like flameless lanterns, essentially. They are sort of spherical and affixed by a clawed wrought iron, it's like bird claw looking thing, and they glow with an unflickering light from within. From within them, kind of casting the street outside the estate in this sort of warm light. The main gate, as you approach it, is an intricate lattice work of twisted and interwoven bars that have been crafted essentially to look like lush vines with like leaves and flowers on them. It does stand open as you guys approach, and there are other guests like filtering in as you come up. Some of them on foot, some like a carriage comes up the lane and goes up the drive towards the house. The main drive heads up in the direction of the house, which is like very cheerily lit from within. Every window is illuminated. It is 3 stories high. It has an arched entryway at the center of the main house, through which you see guests are entering and presenting their invitations to somebody who stands at the front door. As you're looking at the house to the right, an additional wing extends off the main house, like backwards away from you, making the buildings kind of like an L shape. So as you guys are like approaching this way, the building is kind of shaped like that. Off to the left side of the building, there is a semicircular, essentially like a tower, small tower. Comes out of that side of the building, but it's set into the building, so it's only like a half circle comes out. Extends a little bit above the main portion of the house, and ends is topped with like a domed glass roof. You can make out a well-maintained lawn on either side of the main drive. There are a few kind of scattered trees around. Everything's very like shady and dark in the last like purple vestiges of twilight as the sun goes down. And towards the back of the property behind the house, before you get too close and kind of lose sight of it, you see the dark shape of what appears to be like a greenhouse, maybe. It's kind of discernible as the illumination of the ring light sort of glints off of the glass, but it is dark within. So as you kind of walk up to the door, you see the servant who's been accepting invitations stands there to greet you. You guys come up and says, "Oh, hello, good evening."
Step forward. Major Doosebury and party, sir.
He's in sort of an aging half-elf. He has kind of a hooked nose, looks like it might have been broken at some point in his youth. He has a very stately demeanor about him. He's wearing a well-tailored butler suit, and he has a distinctive accent. He has a monocle in one eye, and the lens of which is like a vibrant magenta color. And as you kind of step forward and you hold out that invitation to him, he looks a little confused for a half second. "Oh, reads over the invitation and kind of looks back at your party. At the invitation is, I see. Well, I suppose that all seems in order. Folds it up. What do you guys? I should have asked this before. What are you guys carrying in terms of like? Are you carrying in terms of weaponry and like magical things?
I have like a very prominent, like decorative sword.
Okay.
I do not have my fancy shovel. I just have a single dagger, just like in my waistcoat.
Okay.
I've got a dagger concealed on my person.
Okay.
I don't.
So
have
that's fine. Is anybody wearing anything or carrying anything on them that is magical in any way currently?
any. Is the parasol magical?
No. It's enchanting, but it's not magical.
It is, yeah, it is in the eye of Mithlinde.
Okay, so you hand this individual your invitation. You get the impression that he's like, he had not assumed as he like looked at you that you guys were like invitation-bearing guests. But he accepts your invitation without any further question and kind of steps aside to allow you into the.
One moment, my good man, I'd like to address my the people privately. I'd like to lay some ground rules for them before we get this party. Step to the side.
Very good, sir.
Okay, everybody huddle up, please. Huddle up. Alright, look, you bitches. Nobody do anything super suspicious, okay? Nobody use your real names in here, right? I'm Major Nigel Doosebury. You're gonna address me that. He's Reginald. Everybody else work out your own stuff, alright? Sound good? Alright, enjoy the party. Alright, hands in.
Fool's errand.
Fool's errand. Yeah, break. There you go. Alright. Yes, okay.
That would have been a lot cooler if your hands had been centered on where the camera's pointing at the tabletop.
Reenactment.
Reenactment. That's okay. Alrighty, so you guys like come back to this sort of slightly confused looking.
We had a bit of a problem with some binge drinking at the last party we were at. I just wanted to make sure that everybody was on the same page. This is a classy affair. We're not going to.
Very subtly, I point towards Cal.
Yes.
Skeleton crunch.
I dare say, is that a fully grown gnomish man dressed as a small boy?
No, it's a small boy. No, I kid you. It is a gnomish man. It is a gnomish man. It's a joke we like to play. Yes.
Very good, sir.
He lost a bet. That's why he has to dress like that tonight. Hilarious, don't you think? Point at him and laugh, my good man. Point at him and laugh.
No, that would be quite uncivilized. No, please enjoy the gala.
Yes, we will.
The master of the house, we will be down to make a toast at some point, I'm sure.
Yes,
but
right.
feel free to mingle and enjoy yourselves.
Okay. Yes,
As
thank
we
you.
pass, I give him like a smug like.
This guy, the butler.
Yeah. Because he thought we were all like rascals.
Oh.
It's not wrong.
Gives you just sort of like a polite nod, doing his butlerly duties. So, you guys enter into the through the main door. As you guys pass him, you see that as he is like kind of smiling pleasantly. He does like pointedly look at each of you for a couple of seconds as you kind of go by him, and there is the sort of the faintest. It's like anime style, where that like the monocle like ding, like blinks a little. As you guys like walk past him, and he just like looks to you guys. You walk through the main door, so it's sort of like there's like a little antechamber. The door which he walks you through, and then there's this this small antechamber before the main door that leads you into the house. You guys pass through that, past him. You see there are a pair of like house guards essentially stationed on either side of this. They are kind of like dutifully just not paying anybody any mind, just sort of standing, minding their own business. And as you walk past them into the house proper, you see that you've entered into a spacious foyer. There are many guests kind of just milling about the area, socializing with one another. A large circular table has been set in the center of the room. It is heavily laden with all manner of light fare, cheeses, dried fruits, exquisite-looking savory pastries, and other items surrounding a decorative floral centerpiece, which is comprised of exotic and tropical-looking flowers, the likes of which those of you who have spent your lives like in the north thus far probably have never seen. Servants in uniform move through the room, offering wine or ale, as well as more trays of food. A curved staircase ascends to the second floor with a balcony that looks down over the room. A scattering of guests stand up and down on this stairwell and on the level of the second floor. And the whole space is just filled with sort of the burbling rumble of dozens of individual conversations taking place throughout the area. A massive crystal chandelier hangs down from a chain on the ceiling. Instead of candles, it has hundreds of crystal pieces cut in the shape of flames. They glow with that same soft, steady, magical light that you had seen on the lanterns outside, casting the room into a very well lit. The room is very well lit. To your right, a set of doors stand open, providing access to other rooms on the first floor. You can hear from within there. There is the sound of like slightly more body conversation. There's the kind of the flow of conversation will be lower, and every once in a while is punctuated by a number of voices rising up in either like cries of like "ha ha" or like "gah." To the left, a set of fine-looking doors stand closed, and a velvet rope is strung in front of them. Music from a string quartet of musicians in fine garments floats through the air as they kind of play a merry tune. They are seated sort of in the corner of the room, off to your right, like against the wall. And yeah, so I have. Well, I'll just give you this to make it a little. Little easier to just like understand sort of the layout of the room. I don't know how well you guys can see this. So this is sort of the layout of the house. You've just walked in here, yeah?
Yeah.
This is the door that is closed with the velvet rope. There, this is the door where like the noises came from. The musicians are here. There is another set of doors here that is also open. This door here is closed, but there's no rope in front of it. And then there's a door here in the back that is, that this is open. And you guys can sort of see through it a little bit. It looks like there's a formal dining room in there where like a large sit-down table has been set. Let me see if there's anything you guys actually can't see. No, I can leave this here for you guys to look at so that you can know where you're going. There's no secret DM information on there.
Should we put it here?
I mean, if you want to.
I don't think they're gonna.
It's not up to the quality of my typical maps, as it was just intended for me. But we'll let them see it, and then it may not even show up on camera. It probably will not, if I had to take a guess.
Sir Nigel, don't forget to put your gift on the gift table.
Where is the I'm going to say one of the cards. Where is the lovely thing?
He kind of looks at it. Well, I'm not sure. I've been on duty here. Probably in the music room, if I had to guess.
Yeah, okay. Which way is that?
He sort of leans like a little bit into the room and points. So the two doors on this side, where you heard the shouts coming from that one, he points to this doorway.
Okay, yeah, well, thank you, Michael Bram. I'm gonna go that way.
2 steps
Yeah, of
behind
course.
and to his right.
You're
He's
just following
following
him.
it,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. All right. Well, Bram heads off in the direction of the music room as indicated
Also grab Nula, by the
with
way.
Ayla, with Alar, with Nula. What's everybody else doing?
I'm going to
I'm
take.
following them.
You go with them.
I'm going to take a few steps with them, but back a bit, and as I get closer to the musicians playing here, I'm going to cast Eldritch Sight
Okay.
just to look around and see if there's any magical nonsense going on in the
Sure.
room.
Alrighty. So, and Ronnie, what are you doing?
I'm just sort of following along and like looking at all the cool stuff.
Okay. So as you cast your Eldritch Sight, what you can see as you look, the chandelier, in addition to the physical light that it is giving off, gives off an arcane light. As you can see that it is enchanted. So no surprise, it was clearly an enchanted, piece of decoration, as well as most of the there's like sconces along the walls illuminating the rooms. Most of these all have this same enchantment on it, which causes them to give off light, essentially. You see on some of the guests, a few of them have either like pieces of jewelry or ornamentations to their outfits that, as you look at them with like your normal eyes, you can see they, there's a woman who has, she's wearing like sort of a decorative headscarf that every once in a while, like a butterfly will like flutter off of it and like land back on it. Things of that nature. Some of the guests here have specific items of clothing that are giving off very minor hints of illusion magic. Seems like some of the style here among high society is slightly enchanted clothing to look a little fanciful or decorative. You don't see anybody carrying anything that strikes you as suspicious, like hidden magical stuff on anyone or anything like that.
Does anyone have like the ticker message going across their clothes?
No, it's not the '80s. That hasn't been invented yet.
Yeah, I mean, taking a cue from that, I'm going to disguise self and give myself a little bit more shimmer.
Okay. Alrighty. Everybody else was going like into the music room, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll follow them after going.
So as you enter into the room indicated, you see that you are in a essentially what has been laid out as a sitting room. There are a number of comfortable chairs and like chaise lounge style seating in here, as well as a few areas where you see like set up with more of like stiff back chairs where somebody would sit to like play an instrument. There are a number of cases along the walls you see that contain very finely crafted instruments of various types. There's a case that has a violin in it. There is what you take to like an oboe in a case. There are a few different styles of like lute and lyre that are in like stands essentially. So there's like a half dozen different instruments like prominently displayed throughout this room. There are a few people kind of milling about having conversations. A few servants walk past offering you drink and food.
I take every single one.
It's like, and sort of towards the back of the room from here, like kind of this way, there are a group of younger females, or it's a bunch of young, probably, teenage girls in fancy, like, gala dresses of various different colors. a lot of them, they kind of seem to be like all in orbit around one central figure who's sitting in one of the chairs and is like talking and laughing with her friends. She's a human. She has like very fair, like almost porcelain skin, dark raven black hair, and very vibrant green eyes. She's very attractive young woman, sort of like the last vestiges of like sort of the cultish like knobbiness of adolescence are like fading from her features, and she has the look of somebody who's blooming into like a very elegant young woman. She appears to be in good spirits. She's talking and laughing with some of her friends. She doesn't really pay any of you guys any mind when you walk in.
What was her name? What was the princess?
Tabitha Delker.
So I'm gonna make my way over to them.
Okay.
Good evening, ladies. I presume that you, my good woman, are the lady of the hour, the birthday girl, Tabitha Delker.
You are greeted by like a cacophonous wave of like giggles as like 15 teenage girls like see your like huge powdered wig and your oversized epaulets. Tabitha, for her part, gives you a small smile and she says, "Indeed, I am, good sir."
Well, I'm an old friend of your father's, Major Nigel Doosebury, and I'll take off my hat now. Deeply bow.
She kind of inclines ahead of you. She says, I've never heard father speak of you.
Yes, we're old friends. We haven't seen each other a long time. It's a bit of a dark past, but we don't talk about it much. Anyway, it's not what it's about. Today's your birthday,
Indeed
and we brought you some gifts. My associates here have scrounged up something on their own, and I have crafted something by myself specifically for you. So we'll start with the lesser gift.
Oh.
And my aide-de-camp, Reginald Soiled Trousers, will present it to you.
I will.
Well met, Monsieur Soiled Trousers. Is that is that for London? That's her name.
Ignian, madam.
Oh, I see.
I'd step forward, head slightly bowed, the small, neatly tied parcel.
She.
It's a bit of a joke, you know. His name is actually Saul Trezar, but I call him Soiled Trousers.
See, that does sound much more Ignian.
Yes.
Thank you, good sir. She kind of
Step
takes
back.
the handkerchief cloth. She unwraps it, and kind of pulls it up. She says, "Oh, how lovely!" There is a like a half second of like silence from the entourage of teenage girls as they like wait to see what her reaction is, and then as she says, "Oh, lovely," they all like begin, "Oh," crooning and like making a fuss over this. She says, "It is beautiful. Thank you, good Major, and to you as well, Mr. Soltrezere."
Yes. That is from
Back up.
that is from my associates.
To my
I have
previous position.
something much more special. That is something of my own creation. I consider myself quite the tour. Yes, and I hope that you enjoy music, my good lady.
Oh, I certainly do.
Yes, well,
good sir.
I have, with the suggestion of my betrothed here, Lady Sugar Muffin, I have crafted for you a masterpiece that I think you'll quite enjoy. And I hand her over the sheet. It's sheet music.
Okay, sheet music.
That at the top, it is entitled What is love? Parenthesis. Baby, don't hurt me.
Okay.
Sir Doosebury, am I to believe that there's going to be a performance now?
No, it's not for the ears of you shitheads.
She says,
Specifically for her.
Major Doosebury, well, first of all, I will certainly insist upon a performance at some point before tonight's events are over.
We'll see how the evening goes. We'll see.
But I must, and I beg 1,000 pardons if I am being presumptuous. Are you and your group of individuals? You're not circus performers, are you? I wasn't aware if my father was hiring anyone, but your costume is so fantastical, and you've provided me with names that almost seem as if they've been made up on the spot. And you have a clearly full-grown man dressed as a small sailor boy.
Yes. We're over that.
You must understand the appearance. The appearance is quite something to be.
No, we are traveling dignitaries. We are from the far off island. It's a small island, the island of Ingles End. Yes, that's where we hail from. Small island, rather big for its bridges, but we make do. So no, but this is traditional
Taylor
Ingles
snacks
End.
drink from a passing person. Just
This is traditional Ingles End regalia. So I could see how it could look.
I profusely apologize.
No.
I am, as you must know, I've only gotten so far in my studies. I've not had the pleasure of learning of the I am sure rich and elaborate histories of Engle's End.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. I would say it's probably a history that's it's certainly interesting, but it all seems to be to the untrained eye rather made up nonsense. So it's not very interesting.
I should certainly say so. She says,
yes.
and she kind of smiles. She says, well, please do enjoy the gala, Major and associates. Mr.
Soltracer.
Miss Sugar Muffins, small boy.
They do have names. I don't remember them. So. They're not important enough.
Of course.
Walter sleeps in the room.
So she sort of, kind of
One can only stow so much knowledge in the old noodle up there.
bows you out of the room.
I know your betrothed is
Betrothed Lady Sugar Muffins.
a heavy burden for her name to carry.
Yes.
All right. Well, you kind of sort of move on your way.
Once we're out of immediate earshot, Lady Sugar Muffin.
That's what you're upset about? Not that you're Captain Shitpants? Whatever.
They're not going back. They'll have a little laugh about another servant. For God's sake, man, remember that there are people who are going to remember a dragonborn.
That's why we gave her a stupid name.
I'm really speaking up for the mic.
No, sorry.
That's why they gave her a stupid name!
More towards him than you.
Fair enough.
Did we have to be betrothed?
Yes.
What kind of a question is that?
And I fling out a fan and just.
So,
It was going to be
to
one
be clear, fan in one hand, parasol in the other.
And it's nighttime.
Yeah. Check your parasol at the door.
There is, as you guys are kind of having this conversation, there's like a, and you turn and there's like a very confused looking servant, and he's like, spinach puff?
Just mage angling spinach pops off.
No, thank you. Spinach doesn't agree with me. It's
Too
a
green.
rather horrible situation when I have spinach, so Take that far away from me, thank you.
I said, oh, thank you, and take the whole
Yeah, she comes along to make sure that all of the spinach is consumed before it gets to me.
So is this sort of a baby bird situation?
No.
Oh,
She eats it, preventing me from eating any spinach accidentally, and thus causing quite what we at the camp like to call old Major Doosebury's fart storm.
I see, sir.
It's quite potent.
Very good.
It's quite potent.
Very good, sir.
Let's keep that away from me.
I'll inform the kitchens to offer a different fare to you. Thank you. And he casts one forlorn look at his confiscated tray and just scuttles off.
Oh no, I do beg your pardon, and I just pile all the stuff in handy trays.
Puts 14 spinach puffs in her purse and just hands them the tray
I'll
back.
record it.
Thank you, good lady.
You will.
Okay, and he goes, and he heads off, and he goes into that other closed door. You see him enter into there. Get the impression that's probably the kitchens.
Betrothed, maybe you should meet your acquaintance now.
Well, I don't think he's here yet. They said that he was going to make an appearance and give a speech, so...
Quite likely it will be
time?
at the...
You guys have been there for a little bit now, so it's probably an hour after sunset. The sun's just getting down as you guys
Do we have
arrive.
a schedule, a timeline of when something's supposed to happen?
You guys don't know. I'm just at a party.
Okay, well, you
Guys
guys
shouting in the other room, right?
I suspect there
You
may
guys
be
are
games of
free to
chance.
Gambling.
explore the party, or you can stay with me and...
Certainly gonna go check out the parlor.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm
No,
going to
using
it.
your names. What? Just in
That,
case you were an
that,
NPC.
guy- that NPC with his empty tray is I'm sorry, what? What was that?
No spinach.
Very well said.
Yep, done.
As you say. Alrighty, so you guys are sort of heading towards the parlor.
Yes.
Okay, so as you guys kind of make your way in that direction, Kel, you actually, your eye is caught by an individual who is in this main room. He's sort of hovering a little awkwardly near the food table. He appears to be here by himself. He doesn't quite seem to know what to do with himself, so he's just taken to standing near the hors d'oeuvres uncomfortably. He is a young human man. Looks to be probably about mid-20s, mid to late 20s. But what catches your eye about him is that he is wearing that same garb, that same robe outfit that the librarians at the Royal Library where you were yesterday were wearing. So you kind of spot him as the group starts to move towards that parlor room.
Is there something that catches your eye?
We should go check out the parlor, and then I need to think about going and talking to someone.
Oh, will you be fine by yourself, or do you need company?
No, I will not.
No, you won't be fine by yourself?
No, I will not.
Okay.
So you need company.
I will need company.
Alrighty. Company, you got it. Company's my middle name.
So as you guys walk into the parlor, there are indeed some games being played here. The main one that you see seems to be there are a handful of people gathered around a large hexagonal table, and they are playing some sort of a dice game. There is kind of a considerable amount of gold on the table. They are smoking cigars and drinking fine liqueurs out of teeny tiny little glasses. And you kind of, as you walk in, they seem to be finishing up around. The game is, from what you see, is a series of. They have some different shaped dice, and they kind of a frenzied activity of they seem to be like emptying gold into a pot in the middle and then like rolling dice, and this proceeds for a few rounds until somebody like seems to be the winner, and this is where you hear the source of that like yeah as like somebody cheers, and apparently the people who are watching that are rooting for that person cheer, whereas others are like ah.
I have literal gold coins for eyes right now. I will be definitely going up to those guys.
Oh yes, I'm very glad this is a the sort of party. I didn't know if I was going to be able to use this. And I go into my coat pocket and just pull out there's like a massive log of a cigar. Yes.
Dear future husband,
Yeah.
you know my asthma that may
Meanwhile,
Dragon.
Fantasy asthma.
I've snatched a candle and I was just about to light it for him. I don't wish to come between you and your betrothed, so.
Not again. Not after last time.
Oh boy.
I lean real close
Dark.
over. I lean real into it. I'm like, that wasn't even for anybody. That was just for you.
Sit down and what is the buy-in, gentlemen?
So the group of gentlemen, they are all. It's a lot of like Teddy Roosevelt looking, like hefty. There's a lot of mustaches and like serious mutton chops in this group.
I'm gonna brush my beard up to like volumize it a little, or my mustache. I mean, just volumize my mustache a little bit more.
They're kind of seated around the table. They look to see kind of you and the rest of the group approaching. One of them goes, "Oh, yes, come. I'm happy to take everyone's gold tonight. My dice have been red hot."
I still have fancy eyes. Eldritch Sight again, just to
Okay.
take a look,
Nothing magical going on with
He's
this
just very
here.
lucky.
He seems to be. He's not cheating, so that you can tell. He says, "Sit." And a couple of the individuals at the table look like maybe they got cleaned out or the game's gotten too rich for them. So some of them are kind of making the way. There's certainly room for anybody who wants to play. It says, 10 gold for the first buy-in, and we ante up each round for there. Are you familiar with the game 18s? Sorry, 21. 18 is a different game. This game is called 21.
Is that why you've been winning so much, sir?
Yes, I'm the only one who can do math at this table. The game is called 21. Are you familiar with it?
No, please give us.
I have a general idea. I imagine it has something to do with the number 21.
Ah, a sharp gentleman. If I've ever seen and spectacular taste in epaulets. If I do say so.
As they're doing all that, I've been trying to like stifle my like hysterical laughter the whole time, so I'm gonna go off over to the corner and like
Okay.
start laughing.
Alright. So, Ronnie walks literally 3 feet from you guys to the corner of the room and then just like in a corner.
Never mind her, she does that. Bit of a condition. She was a bit of a diversity hire.
I know the type. Well, come, sit, come. Any of you that want to play? And he kind of like calls out there. Any other takers?
This is that boss Naz.
Yes. So, any of your characters that want to play can play. Any of your characters that don't want to play, you guys can control an NPC. An NPC fancy guy who can play, so that everybody can be part of this.
Sure. I will.
So whose physical characters are playing?
Walter is absolutely playing.
Walter is, Kel is, Bram. Okay. So
I will allow my betrothed to play for
So
me.
Ronnie and Nula will stand back, but you guys can, if you want to participate, you can play
Yes.
NPCs.
Her money is my money, which means
So what? So you guys, you four sit down at the table with this rotund, boisterous gentleman. Another 2 individuals from within the mix of the party come and sit down. So our two NPC noble people. Who are you as you guys sit down?
Big puffy pink dress.
Big puffy pink dress.
And
All
like
right.
blonde hair in like a pompadour. Type.
Okay. What is your fantasy noble Dolly Parton's character?
Cherry.
Cherry. I didn't know it was that kind of party. Woo! All right, Cherry. And Becca,
Is she gonna be her best friend Chastity? From the book. From like 10 episodes ago. Well, we killed Adam.
Nope, still here.
who are you gonna be as your fantasy noble?
I'll be Johnny Apples.
Johnny.
My God, how did you come up with that? That's so unlike
They thought our names
that
were
came from the
ridiculous.
same place.
You sit down.
Sugar muffin.
Yeah,
So.
You sit down.
We're friends because we were both named after.
Oh, good Sir Johnny Apples. Have you met Johnny Apples, a prominent apple merchant?
No, I don't believe I have. What an amazing thing. Now
The
tell me.
Bavarian apples.
Yes.
Now tell me. Did your family get named for the apples, or were you just decided that my name is Apples, so I might as well go into the apple business?
The name came first.
Yeah, well,
The name came first.
yes.
I'm sure you've seen her, I assume he's a man named Johnny Apples. I assume you've seen his ads in the local papers. What's that famous slogan of yours, Johnny Apples? You know the one.
Oh, well, I think I know.
Just do it.
Johnny Apples, just do it. Yes, that's the one.
Yes.
Famous. Nothing gives you a hankering for a good apple like being directly ordered to purchase one.
What was the one you had before that? It was rather good. I think it was. Hey, buy some apples. That was a good one.
Very known for his shrewd business
Yes.
practices
Yes.
and his succinct advertising campaigns.
Don't worry.
Anyway, let's play 21.
Don't worry, I only brought the Gala apples tonight.
Very cool. Very cool.
Oh, I laughed so hard I almost choked. 21. So, this is the DM speaking now, because I'm not going to do this in that guy's voice. For the game of 21, you guys are going to need 3 dice each.
Of which kind?
Of the following kinds. No, of a specific kind. You are going to need a 10-sided die, you're going to need an 8-sided die, and you're going to need a 6-sided die.
Into my bag for a D10. This is a D10, right?
Yes.
D 10, 20, or 12, and 6.
10, 8, and 6.
10, 8, 6.
Big money, big money, big money.
The way we stop.
All right.
In the sack.
So, the initial ante, is 10 gold for this game. So everybody will put 10 gold in the center in the beginning. What you
just raise money comes out of his boot.
So what you will do then is everybody rolls their 10-sided die out in the open, in invisibility of the other players. This will be we'll call this the practice round.
Great.
All right.
Maybe we should use different looking dice. I'm gonna switch die.
My fantastic luck starts again.
So after each die roll, there is a round of betting, a round of anteing up. Essentially, the object it works almost exactly. It's blackjack essentially with dice. You are trying to get as close to 21 as you can without going over. And basically, at the end, whoever ends up the closest is the one that wins the pot. The first die, the 10-sided die, is rolled out in the open, and then everybody can place an additional bet if they want into the center. So like, let's see, you rolled a 6, that's pretty good. You rolled a 10, so like, ostensibly you're like, ooh, I'm gonna put more money in the center. whereas like you roll the 1, so things are not looking as good for you. So everybody rolls the 10-sided die out in the open. Everybody antes up. Then privately, so keep them hidden. Everybody rolls their d8, so that only you know what your next, like what your total count is. Everybody antes up again. You can, at this point, if you want to, fold. So if you're like, oh shit, I just rolled 2 1s, you can be like, I'm out. Then, after that second round of either anteing or folding, everybody privately again rolls their 6-sided die. There is a round, again, of betting and folding. So you can, if you're like, oh shit, I got 20, like, you can increase your bet. If you have like 4 by the end of this, you might want to fold. Any remaining players at this point, you can either... oh, sorry, you will need a 4th die. You'll need a d4 for this as well. So at this point, after that round of betting after the d6, anybody who's still in, you can choose to pay 1 more ante into the pot and roll a final d4 if you want. You don't have to. And at that point, all dice are revealed of remaining players. So you show what your total score is. Highest number up to 21 wins. Over 21 is a bust, unless you bluff everybody else out of the game, and you busted, but everybody else folded, then you still win. Ties go to the person with the highest d10, then d8, then d6, and then if miraculously, like, 2 people rolled the same d10, d8, and d6, the pot is split. I'll walk you through it as we do it, so that you...
Oh, the first one does not count?
Nope. Oh, that was practice round. Sorry about your 10.
What'd you get?
You're not betting with your characters on the gold anyway, so it's whatever. Alrighty. So, everybody, I will do my best to keep track of this. The pot is 70 gold in the center, as everybody antes their initial 10. So everybody, roll your d10 in the open. A 5. Looking excellent for me so far. The dice continue to be hot. What does everybody else have?
8.
7, 8.
9.
Oh, this is going to be an excellent time.
Johnny will up it to 10.
And now you're another 10 into the pot.
Yeah.
All right, I will call your upping.
I'm in.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll throw it in 10.
Sure, it's not my money.
I will say, as NPC and also DM of this game, if the fake characters played betting with not real gold are attempting to inflate the pot, I will ban you immediately. Just to be clear.
Can I pull this in just a little bit?
Alrighty, the pot is up to 140 gold. Okay, behind the scenes, everyone. Keep them hidden now, no peeking.
Rolling the d8.
Everyone, roll your d8.
Red delicious. Oh.
Alright. Anyone want to fold at this point?
Oh, I believe there are worms in these apples. I will fold.
Oh. Johnny Apples is folded.
I'm going to fold.
Oh, Jerry. Well, not too.
Do I have to ante the next round to stay in there?
If everybody chooses to stay in but nobody antes, it'll just continue. But if somebody antes, you will have to ante.
Okay. I will stay in.
I'll raise another 2 gold.
I will also raise the 2 gold.
I can raise 2 gold.
I'm in.
Sure.
Alrighty.
10%.
Everyone ready with your 6-sided die? Excellent, excellent, excellent. What was everybody's initial roll? Ooh, that's 8 and a 9. Anyone out? Becoming too rich for anyone's blood?
I'm afraid that's, I believe the dice might have turned against me, sir. Of course. Best of luck to you.
If no one wishes to raise the pot, then we will continue. So, one final optional die. How's everyone feeling about their rolls? I'm going to roll my my final die. I will put a final gold in to continue on and roll my last die.
I will do that as well.
I will join.
All right, so one more gold from anybody who needs to roll. You're just gonna stay.
I'm going to stay.
Okay. He said smugly as if he had a 21 behind his ear. So it was what, 3 people put a gold in there? Alrighty. Whoop. Alright, gents. Pot is 153 gold. Let's see what we've got. I've got a 15.
I have a 12.
I have a 21.
I have a 20.
Oh, the good Major is victorious!
Very good, sir. Very good.
Yes, yes.
There's like a chorus of cheers and shouts. It seems like maybe some side bets were taking place behind your table.
How much was that?
You just won 153 gold.
Damn. Speaking of gold, who has the golden D20?
Kel.
Me. Yeah.
Kel. For that bastard lied to me. I don't know what that's in reference to, but that's who's got it.
Oh, him buying the outfit.
To get ready to go to the actual party, so he wasn't going.
Alrighty. So at that point, you guys, Bram is like, as Bram is collecting his winnings, you hear from the other room, the sort of murmur of conversation dies down as you hear the voice of the butler who saw you in at the front door. He raises his voice. Ladies and lords, distinguished and honored guests, your host, Master Cartwright Delka. So at this point, as you hear that, you see like a lot of the guests begin to move out of the rooms to kind of head towards that central chamber. Bram is shoveling gold into his bag. What are you guys doing?
I'm gonna go over to where Conway Delga is making his appearance.
Okay.
2 steps behind him to his right.
So, those of you that follow, as you make your way into the main foyer here, you see a man in his early 50s, dressed in an impeccably kept formal doublet and trousers, descends the stairs. His hair is the same jet black that his daughter has. It is swept back and combed through with oils to keep it neatly in place. A slight widow's peak gives his brow an intelligent set, and a short goatee and mustache trimmed with precision lend a distinguished air to his features. He shakes hands, extends a few words with some of the guests as he makes his way about halfway down the stairs before he places one hand on the banister. A glistening gold ring with a ruby set into it catches the light as he places his hand on this banister. He smiles warmly, the corners of his eyes crinkling. He speaks. Good evening to you all. I am so glad that each of you could be here tonight to celebrate the birthday of my dearest daughter, Miss Tabitha. He gestures towards, kind of next to you guys. Tabitha and her gaggle of friends have come out of the music room. So he gestures towards her, and the assembled people all kind of politely clap. She, in quite proper ladylike fashion, she blushes and acts very demure and is kind of bowing. But you guys catch as the applause is dying away. You catch Delker, from like his place on the stairs, you see him kind of like shoot a small wink in his daughter's direction, and the hint of like a real smile crosses her features, as some sort of an unspoken moment seems to pass between the two. He makes his way down to the bottom of the stairs. He picks up a flute of champagne from a serving tray. And he moves over towards you, like towards where you guys are, to stand over near his daughter. And he says, I do a great deal too much blathering on for hours at end when the Parliament is in session, so I shall not bore you all by doing so here. I will keep this short and to the point. He turns towards his daughter and speaks directly to her. And he says, Daughter mine, my starlight, I have watched you grow into a truly astonishing young woman. I thank the heavens every day that the best parts of your mother live on in you, and that you did not inherit anything from me. He kind of smiles at all the people appropriately laugh at his joke. He says, I have no doubt that the road before you will be filled with great things. And I cannot wait to watch with more pride than any father could possibly have for his daughter. Happy birthday, dear. I love you very much. This is to the Lady Tabitha, and he raises his champagne flute to the collected folks. Takes a
champagne flute off the nearest server.
Everybody toasts. There is another kind of round of applause, and everybody's kind of clapping. You see he and Tabitha, they share he hugs his daughter for a moment, and then the sort of the murmur of conversation slowly begins to return to the room, and everybody kind of goes back to their business at the party. Delker sort of going back to moving among people, shaking hands, greeting folks, that sort of thing. Your friend from before is still he's got a plate of food, and he's just doesn't know who to talk to. You guys.
If I see Kel giving that guy the eye, would you like to consult with the young gentleman over there currently?
At some point tonight, when we don't have business.
Well, we could do it right now.
We could do it right now.
Major Doosebury, if I may accompany the young sir.
We will all go. Yes, we'll make a nice introduction with it.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Sir?
All right.
Very good, sir.
You guys head over to the hors d'oeuvres table where the very lost-looking librarian
As
stands.
we go over the table, is that servant guy from behind
I'm not paying much attention to whatever's going to happen. I'm just eating.
You're just eating. The
Just imagine Ronnie packing me across the table.
Going, ooh. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, a shot.
Yep.
Ooh, a shot.
Yep.
So you guys make
It
your way
says
over to
really
this.
big.
The individual, as you guys approach him, kind of gives you a polite smile and sort of nods and goes to move out of your way, thinking you guys are going for the the food table.
I'm gonna stand us around on the other side so they can't get me. So we're just kind of.
Okay. You guys kind of surround him, and he kind of looks his
Hors d'oeuvres. You're at the hors
don't
d'oeuvres
can
table.
you don't do whatever this is.
Just gonna reach
Oh, is that the-
I need to
that's
grab
the-
whatever
him?
snack
That's the
is-
guy. He's can you no can Can we not? What?
I'm just gonna reach behind him and grab whatever hors d'oeuvre is immediately behind him. And
Okay.
Then just walk back.
Yes, hello, my good man.
Yep. Hello.
Well, my good friend here, the short one, would like to have a word with you, I think, and he's a bit shy, so I was, good old Major introduction, so this is my associate.
That's a weird outfit.
I lost a bet.
Fair enough. What can I do for you? My name's Bertram. Bertram Flick is my name. I'm. Well, I don't really know anybody here, but what's up? Hey, boy, how's it going?
Well, let's change that first thing. These are all my good friends. We have Major Nigel Doosebury.
That's good.
We have Reginald. We have Lady Sweet Muffins.
Sugar muffins.
I myself am Lieutenant Major Nigel Doosebury II. No relations.
This was an odd coincidence. He showed up for assignment one day, and I went, "My God, do I have a son?"
There's a servant going past. I grab 2, down 1, and then down the other.
Okay, all right. That seems real fake, but sure. Nice to meet you. Like I said, I'm Bertram. Is there something I can help you with?
I couldn't help but notice that you are. You have the symbol of the academy.
The Royal Library. Yes, I have the Royal. I'm just recently a fully fledged librarian at the Royal Library. I'm a tutor of Lady Tabitha's. I teach her. Yep, that's what I do.
Fascinating.
What sorts of subjects are your specialty?
My God.
He says I teach her.
When he says I've just recently graduated, I go, "Congratulations!" with like my face.
He like takes a napkin off of the table and holds it out to you.
Oh, thanks.
He says, "Oh, I teach her poetry and fine literature. That's my specialty, and that's what I do. That's how I got invited to this party, but I don't know anybody here, so I've just been trying to be inconspicuous near this food table."
You're doing a damn fine job.
Now you know at least 4 people.
Yes, probably more because there's more than 4 of us here.
But he did only give me 4 fake names.
Yes.
Okay. Yep.
Now, as it stands, I have a ward who is trying to do research in the library, and was not able to get anything.
I'm sorry. Can you maybe like take that hat off while we have this conversation? I'm having a really hard time focusing on. This is just a lot.
Let
For
me
me.
pull that
Major?
card here.
I'll take that off your hands.
Yes, well,
I did lose the bet to you.
yeah, we could take the hat off just for this conversation, but it means you have to wait an extra 20 minutes tomorrow.
I hold the hat out in front of me.
Sorry. Okay, so you have a ward.
Who was doing research at the library while we've been in town.
Okay.
And was not able to find anything on their subject of interest in the public records.
Okay.
Now the librarian that he spoke to, a Mr. I probably have this right. Should have this right. It's so many pages ago.
I did not write it down.
Mr. Librarian?
I have Bob Ross written on here for some reason.
That's
I don't think that's it.
No, that was the
That was-
painting that we found at 28%.
Archivist Taurus.
Oh, Archivist Tollus.
Tolis.
Tolis. Yep, I know
That's
him.
definitely
He's a nice guy.
Said that there might be more in the Academy's private archives.
There's plenty of stuff in the library's catalogs that isn't accessible to the public. I mean, a lot of people can't read and are just generally like terrible. So most of the good stuff is in the private collection.
Well, we were told that the only way to gain access to the private collection was to be a student. That doesn't really.
Oh, that's not true. Well, I mean, that's one way. You could theoretically apply to take up an apprenticeship as a student at one of the universities. What's he looking for? What's his interests?
Mostly history and dragons.
Well, that's super specific. I don't know if there's any fields of study at the universities about dragons, and you usually have to get a special writ from one of the instructors on stuff that directly relates to your studies. So I don't know that would be the way. I know. I mean, you can if you get permission from somebody with the authority, you can access those archive catalogs. You just have to, I don't know, have friends in high places, I guess.
Aren't you an authority? So
Well, that's a strong word for it. I'm like, I'm like if like you were the head archivists. I'm like the version of the guy who has to wear the little boy outfit.
Yes. I believe the term you're looking for is the bitch.
Yep.
Yes.
That would be it.
Yes.
So I can't. I mean, I can't just like give anybody. Well, I mean, I could help people get access to the archives, but I wouldn't do that if I was worried that they might be up to something weird. And no offense, but you guys are real weird. There's a lot of weird costumes and names going on here.
Yes, well, you're not the most normal chap either.
Okay, well that's hurtful, but
Oh yeah, that's hurtful. There are a bunch of freaks with costumes with fake names.
I'm behind him going.
he says, but I mean, if your ward is really interested in, really wants to get their hands on some of those special materials, I mean, I guess, if we can, I don't know, once I know that it's okay to give stuff, to give access, then yeah, I can probably do that, but I'd need to trust you guys first. So maybe I don't know, maybe play softball on the weekends or build up a little bit of a rapport first, and then maybe. I mean, I'm certainly not one to stymie anyone's pursuit of knowledge.
Well, we're not the ones who are looking for access. It's actually our board who's doing their research project. So perhaps we could set aside some time for you to meet with them and see if you believe that they're up to snuff.
Sure.
And if not, we'll replace them with someone else.
Yeah.
Yep.
Quick question: would somebody very high up in the government be able to grant access as well?
Yeah, probably.
Cool. Well, that's all I need to hear. Anyone else have any questions?
I cannot miss these kind of way.
No, well, I think we're done here then.
Cannot or should not?
Both?
How are the hors d'oeuvres?
They're good.
They're great.
Okay, well, we'll be seeing you around.
It was very nice to meet you.
Yep. Super weird, but very nice to meet you guys as well.
Gonna wait for them to get. I'm terribly sorry, sir. The Major, he bit of a drinking problem. Him.
Yep. You know what? I don't want to know about that. That seems.
Sorry, Bridges, let's go!
Very good, seems like something I shouldn't be involved in. I think there's 12-step programs. You can look into those. We probably have some reference material at the library.
Thank you, my good sir.
Tried 12-step programs before. It's difficult because most times I can't remember how to count to 12. Get stuck around 4.
He goes back to like being uncomfortable at the party.
Goes back to being uncomfortable?
He goes back to his baseline of discomfort.
Okay, well I think it's about time to go talk to the guy who's the whole reason we're here.
You turn around after this long, involved conversation with this librarian, and you look, and you actually see Delker is no longer in the room.
Well, shit.
But the fancy butler from the door, with his he's no longer wearing his purple monocle, but the fancy butler approaches you, and he walks up to you, Bram, and he says, Major Doosebury.
Yes.
The master informed me that you should be seen to his study.
Oh, yes, very well, good. It's about time I catch up with the old chap. That
Yes.
dirty bastard.
Will your entourage be joining you?
I don't know, will they?
Certainly.
Sure.
Very good, sir.
Of course, future husband.
Yes.
Very well, sir. Then please come with me. I'll show you to the master's library.
They will.
He
Lead on, my old man.
take turns. He leads you guys over towards where the that closed door that had like a velvet rope in front of it. You see the velvet rope has been like moved to the side, and he brings you over to that door, and like opens it up and shows you guys in.
Yes, and don't you forget, my good man, Major Nigel Doosebury is velvet rope people.
Very good, sir. Of course.
As I passed.
I shall inform the staff.
I believe they're already informed about the spinach thing.
Yes, I did hear something about that.
Yes.
You will be happy to know that all the spinach on the premises has been taken out back and shot.
Good! Justice is served then! Jump cuts like a bunch of... just like crossbow bolts in spinach.
Well, he leads you through the doorway.
The heads have rolled.
And then some.
He leads you through the doorway into a small study, which actually, so you can now tell you are within that circular like tower portion of the that you'd see from the outside. So the base floor here, the bottom floor here is it's like a small study sitting room. There's some shelves with books in like surrounding the circular outer wall. Comfortable chairs, things like that. It's meant to be like a sitting room, a receiving room for guests. There is a wrought iron spiraled staircase that leads up to. You see, there's like a floor above that the staircase goes up into, and he gestures towards that staircase, and he just says, "Master Delco will receive you in his private office, just up those stairs."
Thank you, my good man.
Very well. He kind of gives all of you sort of deferential bows and closes the door to the study behind you.
I'm gonna stay in the study.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll wait downstairs.
All right. Well, anybody going upstairs can go upstairs. Anybody who's staying down can stay down. So I assume Bram is going up. Is anybody coming with him?
I will stay downstairs.
Okay.
I'll go upstairs.
Okay.
Yeah, I better stick with you.
Alright, so you three go upstairs. Up the spiral staircase, and as you enter into the private office of Conrad Delker, you see that you are in the dome, sort of there's a kind of a glass conservatory top to this tower that makes up his office. There is a large desk. There is a hearth in which a crackling fire has been lit that has like a chimney that kind of juts off the side of this tower to vent the smoke. Again, comfortably appointed. There's like sitting chairs kind of gathered around. There's a large telescope pointed up into the sky on one side of the room, and the man himself is sitting behind his desk. And I think that is a pretty good place to take our break for the evening. As you guys
This is
enter
like
into
mentally imagining Cal, which is the most uncomfortable. Like, because like he's been alternately described as like a sailor boy and also like Captain Crunch. So like I had this weird like image in my
Humpty
head.
Dumpty.
Humpty Dumpty, just like
It's certainly better than the berries and cream guy from that.
That's what I've been envisioning.
Yes.
Is the berries and cream
Okay.
lad.
That's
All right. Well,
even
before we jump to break, sorry, I really have to cut you off real quick. I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Marble Moon Studio and the 8th House. You can find them online at marblemoonstudio.com and shopthe8thhouse.com. They are a local business nearby to where we shoot our episodes. They are independently and ethically sourced witchy lifestyle and home goods shop, supporting small businesses and creating a safe, inclusive space/community for witchy folk. They have all sorts of cool products that you can search for online on those sites, including our Tabletop Legends mugs, the hoodie that Becca is wearing tonight, and a whole bunch of other super cool things. Very cool aesthetic to all of their stuff, which is made custom by them. I think almost all of it. They have 2 sets of tarot decks now available for purchase. I think time is running out on those before the limited run is done. 2 custom tarot decks made by each of the owners of the shops. So check them out online and search them out on social media at Shop the 8th House and at Marble Moon Studio. So thank you to them for sponsoring our show, giving us sweet mugs to drink our various liquids out of every week. And stick around. We will be back in about 5 minutes for the remainder of tonight's episode. Bye. Tabletop Legends would like to thank our presenting sponsor, the 8th House and Marble Moon Studio, an independently and ethically sourced witchy lifestyle and home goods shop, supporting small businesses and creating a safe, inclusive space and community for witchy folk. Find them online at marblemoonstudio.com or shopthe8thhouse.com. Hello, welcome back to the remainder of our episode of Tabletop Legends. I want to thank our second sponsor before we get back into the game, Little Dragon Corp. Vicious Bonus is now sponsored by Little Dragon Corp. You can visit them at littledragoncorp.com for all of your dice and gaming needs. Make sure, check out their special Birthstone dice sets. Make sure to check out their brand new, super quickly Kickstarter-funded metal dice sets. You can type !Little Dragon into the Twitch chat at any point tonight for a quick link to their website, and you can use the promo code BONUS at checkout to receive 10% off your order.
Dice shopping.
Need more.
Shiny click clack.
We have to take Becca's phone away from her before that ad read every week so she doesn't steal.
Steal the deals.
Steal the deals.
This is very important that you can pre-order Tourmaline Birthstone dice.
You can pre-order Tourmaline Birthstone dice to have a set of dice that matches Lady Tabitha Delker's new necklace.
I don't even know what tourmaline is.
It's a
It's a
gemstone.
semi-precious gemstone.
It does look like watermelon.
It's like
That's why he
green
said it
and-
was
it's
watermelon.
like green.
It's like green and pink.
It is these things.
There you go.
which is here, and Becca can't see it.
No.
Is it gonna focus?
I don't know.
Probably not.
Nope, definitely not.
Well, here's an
It is
iPhone
both.
screen for no reason.
It is both brightly lit and moving.
Just how I like
You
to
can
win
see
it.
it on the website at littledragoncorp.com.
LittleDragonCorp.com. The link is in the Twitch chat right now, so go check them out. Thank you to Little Dragon Corp for sponsoring Tabletop Legends and Proficiency Bonus. So, we rejoin the party as Bram, Alar, and Kel have ascended the spiral staircase into the private office of one Cartwright Delker, Member of Parliament. You guys ascend the steps. He is kind of standing in front of his desk, leaned against it, his arms crossed in front of him as you guys enter in. He nods politely to you and kind of gestures for you to sort of cross the room and join him. He says, "Good evening, gentlemen.
Let's go.
Mr. Ratlock, yes.
That's me.
An interesting strategy. You have certainly made quite a deal of noise downstairs. But to each his own, I suppose you are the expert.
Yeah, I like to go with the whole big distraction right out in the open kind of thing. You'd be surprised how people are stupid.
It seems to have worked for you so far, I guess, so who am I to question? He looks to you two. I was not informed that you were working with others. I was under the impression that you were a solo operative. Are your friends here informed on the matter?
They're not 100% informed, but they're trustworthy. So,
Trustworthy is, I suppose, key. If you vouch for them, then so be it. I understand that you have something for me, Mr. Ratlock.
yes, I do. Pull out the package. Plop it on his desk.
Alright.
Here it is, sir.
He takes the package and holds it up so you guys see as Bram takes this out of his coat. It is like a sealed envelope, maybe half an inch thick. Has the sort of floppy quality as if it's filled with like paper. He picks it up. He walks around to his desk and go ahead and make me, I don't think I had you do this before, make me a sleight of hand from when you opened that package and looked at its contents before to see how good a job you did of resealing it.
Natural 20 plus 5.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, confirm.
Somebody take that dice away.
That's a different die. It's a different die than the 2 I rolled.
Different dice. Yes.
Okay, so
Is
he...
that 3 20s in a row?
Not
Yeah,
in a
not
row,
in a
but
row.
yes.
Have we done
That's
any
the only
other-
D20s I've rolled tonight.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
yes.
that,
Yes.
all of his D20 rolls have been 20 tonight.
Well,
I should buy a lot of
It's a narrative episode. It's fine.
it's fine. So yeah, he takes the package. He doesn't seem to notice anything suspicious about it. He takes a pen, a letter opening knife, breaks the seal with it, and puts it back on top of his desk, and he takes out what is in fact a stack of papers. Sets them on his desk. It appears to be about 30 pages of written information. He begins to kind of flip his way through them. It doesn't look like he's reading super intently, but rather he's just kind of skimming the content to see what it is that is in these. You see him, he kind of like furrows his brow as he's looking through the contents of these. Almost a sense of like confusion as he looks through like the contents of this. You already looked, but you guys are able to catch, if you're looking, are able to catch glimpses of words and phrases such as increased tariffs, troop movements, increased tension. You catch glimpses of numbers and accounts, what looks like supply chain notations. What you glimpse of the package content has no apparent meaning off the top of, directly. It looks like could be any number of like kind of standard reports that might be given to a government official. He is looking through them. He gets to sort of the last page on it, and he sort of picks up and reads intently. You see that this is from like the briefest glimpse you catch it. This seems to just have like a paragraph of handwritten something on it. This he reads all the way through, and as he does, you see that like the confusion on his face settles into a different expression. His jaw kind of slides forward, his brow creases, and a frown comes over his face. In the sort of flickering firelight of the hearth, you can kind of see like his skin almost seems to like lose a little bit of its color as like kind of the blood goes out of his face as he scans this last document.
I'm thinking it's not good news.
As he finishes, he doesn't respond right away, but he places the papers back together in a pile, kind of like slips them within the envelope and sets the envelope back on his desk. He stands, walks over to his side table, upon which sits a crystal decanter of a rich amber liquid. He picks up a glass, removes the stopper, and pours several fingers worth of the liquid into the glass before gesturing his free hand towards the group of you and sort of like nodding his head towards the decanter, inviting you to join him if you wish, before he moves to stand over near the hearth, kind of like quietly contemplating the flames within the fire.
No. I've drunk enough at this point.
Okay.
Never drink on the job.
He stands there for some time. Seems to be mulling something over. After a minute or so, just as you guys are kind of like exchanging looks, like he downs the drink in one, refills it, and goes and sits back down at his desk, setting the glass on the desk. He fidgets with that ruby ring on his finger for a moment before he looks up, and to Bram, to you, he says, "Mr. Replock, may I ask you a question?"
Sure.
There are all sorts of ways they reach out when they wish to bring someone into the fold. The sales pitch, as it were, varies from person to person, but it's always some version of the same. Do what needs doing. Steer the course of history down the right path. The greater good, all that. My question, Mr. Replock, is why? However, whenever you were first approached, whatever iteration of the induction you received, why did you choose to join, Mr. Replock?
Well, honestly, it didn't really have any better prospects.
But you believe that the cause is just?
I believe it's as just as any cause can be. Everybody's just in their own minds.
He nods. Perhaps I already know the answer to this question, but do you believe a man should trust in that grand vision that they sell unwaveringly? That he should play his part as asked? And in the ends, the means, whatever they may have been, will be justified for the greater good? Or is it his responsibility to act in accordance with his conscience?
I think it depends on the man. Not everybody's got a conscience. And some people's conscience can be easily outweighed by a number of things, whether it be gold, women, whatever. Depends on how much stock one puts in their own conscience. And how easy it is to shut up that little voice in the back of your head. Everybody's different.
Are you a man that puts a great deal of stock in his own conscience, Mr. Repluck?
Depends. Sometimes it's usually steered me in the right direction.
He turns towards you guys. I don't know how much Mr. Repluck has shared with you about our mutual loyalty. So perhaps we're speaking in gibberish to you right now, but I ask you the same question. Does the conscience outweigh the obligation?
Our face is the one thing that we, if you happen to have a mirror or even just a clear enough puddle, that you look at virtually every day, maybe a little less. I imagine that you see your face every day, particularly when you're getting ready to go speak in Parliament. Can you look at yourself in the face after you've done something or before you propose something? Because you'll have to tomorrow and the next day and the next. That's the question you gotta ask yourself. Is what I'm about to do, can I look at myself in the mirror?
Looks to you.
Everyone has things that they're not going to compromise on. It's up to you to decide where your principles are and where you're going to draw that line.
Nods. Turns to you again, Bram. The great good, grand vision for a better world is always something I have believed in, something they have always said was the ultimate goal. And I have always found that I could see, however convoluted and twisting it might be, I could see the path there. But he looks at the stack of papers on his table. Well, I have thinking I need to do. We should not remain sequestered here longer. It will be conspicuous. I will have Bromley provide a carriage for you and your compatriots. I think perhaps we should speak again in the future. Consider this as you go. And depending on what answer you find in your own heart, then perhaps our paths may converge once more. He gestures at that stack of papers again, and he says, our shared affiliation aside, for what reason would one Mithlindian official have for going through such clandestine methods outside of official channels just to send information to another Mithlindian official? And you get the sense that that's like a rhetorical question that he just wants you to like ponder. And he he lifts like a silver bell on his desk and he rings it. And you guys who are downstairs in the study, you hear the chime of a bell from upstairs, and that door opens and that butler comes back in. He doesn't say anything to you guys, he just kind of like nods to you, but just looks to the stairs as if he's waiting for something. Delker sets down the bell and he says, just think on what I've said and pontificate on the nature of conscience. Perhaps we shall speak again. And he like gestures you guys towards the stairs.
Stand up straight, like a good butler, 2 steps behind and to his right, back into character.
Okay. You fall now?
Yep.
So as you guys come downstairs, you guys who are downstairs during this, whatever they were having conversation, you see the 3 of them kind of, a little somber faced compared to the, like, zaniness that has been going on up to this point, come back down this staircase. The butler, who you guys now know is named Bromley, as you guys come down, without any, like, prompting from you, he gives you guys a kind of a bow, and he says, I have prepared a carriage outside to bring you wherever you wish to go.
I guess whoever's ready to leave can go. If not, then...
Is anyone staying?
I had no further business here, sir, but,
What? Oh, right. Yeah. Well, shall we venture home then?
Whatever you say, future husband.
He, there's no need. I've been informed.
Okay.
When you exit the chamber, you can proceed with your thing, but I'm in on the secret. I was...
Good, because that was a real shitty job of covering our asses right there.
I'm sure it's fine. The guests here are all deep in their cups.
I'm sure the MP will tell an entertaining tale.
He will do as he must. Well, if you will follow me. And he kind of like leads you guys out. There is a horse-drawn carriage waiting for you guys outside. He politely ushers you guys in, and the driver of the carriage cracks the reins, and you set off out of the estate. You can go back to 28 Dorset. You can go elsewhere. Nuala has a hot date at the Green Duckbill.
I would like to return to 28 Dorset, if only to get out of this, but I am quite interested in observing
I'm gonna look at.
I thought that was your dating
Are you,
clothes.
yeah, are you sure that you should change before?
Oh, I
It's
should change.
It's a nice dress, though.
I mean, it is quite flattering.
Apparently, it's a 19.
I'm not used to these ruffles. Let's go back to Dorset.
I'm gonna look at Bram, who looks really contemplative. Say, you alright? Seem a little out of sorts. Are you alright?
Yeah, I'm fine. Just gotta think about some stuff.
Can I help?
I don't see how you would. It's sort of a personal brain matter.
That's fair.
Thanks, though.
Let me know.
So, how about one of those smash puffs?
Excuse me?
You snag like a whole tray full of the smash puffs.
I ate them.
So yeah.
Maybe the duckbill will have spinach puffs.
Maybe. It's alright.
Do you really not like spinach?
You know what's the saddest part is I fucking love spinach puffs.
Why would you say that the
I was in
basic like
character.
spinach? Why is that an
happened.
important character trait?
So much spinach.
These
You know what?
they're characters. They're not me. I gotta.
You know what? I get it. You need defining characteristics to keep them separate.
Yeah.
Got it.
Real important.
to make Major Nigel Doosebury a fleshed out 3D character, he's gotta hate spinach.
Well, I'll see if I can make Bram some spinach puffs.
Are you always engaged to Dragonborn?
No.
Alright.
I mean,
Real
to be
loud
fair,
character.
a major and a war hero, was it?
Yeah.
Quite a catch.
Boy, I was really hoping you guys were gonna try and bring up the Gnome Wars to somebody at that party.
I was waiting for it. I gave myself a military title.
I didn't even see an opportunity.
You're like
for
a
that,
room
like-
full of people who definitely know that you're making up that war.
That's why I didn't bring it up. I can fake a land far off that maybe people haven't heard. I can't bring up a whole war.
What do you call it? Ingles and?
Ingles End.
Sorry, we'll rouse the populace next time.
Yeah, that's not the last of Major Nigel.
You guys did forget to rouse the high society for Walter's
That's what the duckbills.
gorilla, whatever.
I was on him.
There was no good opportunity.
Turn it around!
I'd recommend not, simply because then you'd have to do a recital for whatever it is that you wrote on that paper for a young lady
Oh,
Tabletop.
I wrote a song, and so I was legit.
You came up with the song in 15 minutes.
Yep.
While running.
While running at a full sprint and somehow keeping that hat, which...
What can I say? I'm a man of many talents.
What's that makeup made of?
Very
Sweat off
specific
it all.
talents.
You don't want to know.
Maybe I don't.
A nice city.
It was definitely tested on not animals, because that would be cruel. Maybe like
Cal?
goblins. Makeup was tested on goblins.
That's different.
Now I am prettiest one in tribe.
Well, I'm not going to tell you how it's made. I'm just going to say it got a lot of goblins laid.
Alright, well, you guys arrive back at 28 Dorset. You have the opportunity to get out of your fancy party clothes and come to your own comfortable outfits. Namara is down in the sitting room when you guys arrive. She is the only one who you see. The other two members of the collective are elsewhere. And at this point, you guys are... You can just let yourselves in and out. You can come and go as you please. You know, you don't have to, like, knock on the door and get Stanfield to let you in anymore. So you kind of come in. Namara is in the sitting room. Just kind of knitting quietly as you guys enter. Yeah, so Nula's got somewhere to be in a little bit. The rest of you can do as you please. You can, people can go with her. People can stay here. And
What time is it?
it's probably 10-ish
Oh, I'm going back.
at night at this point. It's 9:36. That's what time it is.
Yeah, we'll just.
I'm gonna just start climbing up the stairs and go, this was fun, but I'm going back now.
I will not change out of my fancy clothes and follow Nula to her date.
Okay.
As soon as the door shut, I am doing this to get rid of the slicked back look. I'm afraid to be around an open flame right now.
Oh yeah, 10 minutes after you hear a door slam and I come running down and be like, here's your stupid dress, and give it to me and go back up.
Bram goes up to his room, closes the door, and then within 12 seconds come back out, completely back in normal clothes,
Had
Quick change.
yeah, it's a skill. Studied for 12 years. You are the quick change.
all right, I'm getting out of this thing.
Are you sure?
Yes.
How much time you got? It is pretty complicated. I
that
don't know why I looked at my
thing
wrist
is
like
yeah.
this, watches everything.
Should have been here 30 cranes ago.
All right, I got change and I'm ready to head out.
Alrighty.
I'm going with her. I am not changing.
Okay.
Alright, so we're still in a ridiculous formal wear.
You're in a ridiculous formal wear. You've
Outstanding.
changed. You've changed.
Yep.
You're asleep. And what are you doing, Bram?
I'll go as well.
Okay.
I will peek into the sitting room, say hello to one of our benefactors, and thank you very much again for the use of the formal wear. We'll be back a bit later. We have, Nula has an engagement, and I can't help observing.
Extend to them my apologies.
I shall do so.
Shade.
I'm just gonna cast message. It's nice.
I mean, that's a pretty good burn. Stanfield's comes into the room. He's like, okay. So you guys head out towards the green duckbill,
I will keep my distance.
which is somewhere. I don't remember where I said it was.
It was in this place ward.
South Commons?
Pub in the River Ward
River Ward.
Sunset when he gets off duty.
River Ward.
River ward. River ward.
River Ward.
Well past sunset.
River ward.
Then I imagine that he's probably enjoyed at least a pint or two.
All
Bram is also now wearing a trench coat with a high collar.
It's the meathead.
okay.
And wide brim hat.
No,
Okay.
Don't be ridiculous.
Sunglasses.
ridiculous.
Okay, so you guys make your way through. You eventually find your way to a small little tavern nestled in the River Ward here. The sign above it says the Green Duckbill. As you press your way in, you see that this is decently crowded. There's a number of people kind of scattered about this small space, either seated at tables or along the bar. You get the impression that this is like a popular guard bar. A lot of the folks you see here look like they're off-duty city guards. And sort of towards the back of the room, along one of the bar tops, sitting having a conversation with a couple of other individuals, you do see your friend Eldon. He doesn't seem to have noticed you guys as you come in.
Coming in, I immediately peel off. I just head for the bar and sit down.
I walk up to Eldon, put down a couple of coins, and say, "The first drink's on me."
He kind of turns. He's a little rosy in the cheeks. He's like, he doesn't remember what his accent sounds like for a second there.
Do you need my notes on Eldon and Gregory?
No.
Because they're full-blown fanfic right now? Is that what happened?
I believe Eldon sounded like this.
Yeah, that sounds about
See,
right.
he kind of turns. He says, "Well, you're a few too late for the first drink, but grab a seat." And he like baps the guy next to him. He's like, "Shove off, Stephen." Makes some space in the bar for you. Let me write that down because I'm sure that's going to be a character I need to fully.
Oh, I haven't written it down.
No, come back, Stephen.
And the other guard kind of like shuffles off, and he makes room for you at the bar next to him. Are the rest of you guys like with her as you come up?
No,
Like, he peeled off. How about you
I
guys?
want to be like within earshot, but like not right next to.
Okay.
I am with her.
Okay.
Whether or not people noticed it or not, Bram did not make it to the bar with them.
Oh, okay.
At some point, he was.
Alrighty.
I'll run down
I'm
Steve.
too.
I'll just follow Steve wherever he sat down.
Okay, so you follow Steven. Nuala sits down with Kel to talk to
Eldon.
Eldon. You sit down. Steven takes a seat at the like an unoccupied table. You sit down next to him, and he kind of like looks at you like,
You're gonna want to watch this. just gesturing at Eldon and Nuala.
he says, "Okay."
Ugh.
Gonna misty step to another part of the
I'm just
I mean,
picturing.
goddamn sure nobody wants to talk to Steven anymore.
He's sipping a drink. All of a sudden, there's Walter next to him.
As he's petting a cat that you can't tell if it's dead or not.
I'm just gonna misty step over to wherever
Looks into thin air
ALR's
like the
at.
office.
Just
So,
nope.
As your misty form like decoalesces and you're like yourself shifts to the other side of the bar, you hear Steven say, "I have a glandular condition." And then you're next to Alar. And you see him like,
I'll burn his phone.
I feel like Steven's future is friendly fire.
Steven's a frontline guard.
that huh?
Yeah, just nope.
Just
I wrote down Steven, glandular condition. So Nuala, you were sitting with Eldon.
Yep.
And he says, "Well, I would have offered to buy you a drink, but I suppose I'll get the next round." And he gestures towards the bartender who comes over and brings him another ale and sets one down in front of you, and then goes back off to his stuff.
Gregory, you not here tonight?
No. Nope.
Does he not join you often?
He does sometimes. Sometimes he's, sometimes he doesn't. Oh.
No. That just seems odd.
He looks to Kel, he turns to Kel and he, pauses a second as he looks at your outfit. He says, "I mean, you're not with, the fancy gentleman you was with before and, the others? You don't travel with them everywhere all the time, right?"
Oh,
Well,
it just seems like a fine establishment. I'm surprised that everyone doesn't meet here at the end of the day.
No, well, sometimes, but no, not tonight. Not tonight.
Is tonight a special occasion?
It is not.
Tonight is Tuesday.
It is. Tonight is Fantasy Tuesday. I don't know what the days of the week is in this world. He says, "No, normal night. Just it's actually good you arrived. I was I got stuck next to Stephen.
He seems like such a nice...
No, he's a garbage piece of garbage. Nobody likes him. I don't even know why they let him be a guard. He can't hold a sword properly. He's the worst. He's the worst person, and I hate him. And you should hate him too, and you should never talk to him.
Was he an airshot?
Yeah. Yeah, he's like,
I imagine he's just like.
now you see him go like. Puts his head down a little bit.
Drinking.
I'm just gonna cast message at Newell and be like, it's true.
So the guy from the back of the bar is like, I'm sorry, were you talking about Reven or Steven?
Steven!
Oh yeah, that guy's the worst.
Maybe someone just needs to take the time to talk to him and teach him how to hold a sword.
I'm gonna cast message again.
Be my guest. He says, "Be my guest," and you turn. He points in Steven's direction. Steven is like a full knuckle into his own nose. Like,
barkeep, just.
I think his cousin is a magistrate, and that's how he got the job because he is definitely not qualified.
100% I think his cousin is his mother.
I'm so sorry.
Probably. That's also.
I'm so sad I'm missing this.
Well,
Don't worry, you'll get a recap.
that's an adventure for another day. Today I'm here to learn more about you.
All right. Well, what do you want to know?
Want to know what made you turn to be a guard?
Well, I don't have the legs of a dancer, so that was out. And, you know, it's good work. Pays all right. Decent.
She's like,
It's weird that you're writing all this down specifically as we're in this conversation. Yeah, I don't know. It's good, honest work. It's what needs doing. I'm not much of a one for the river.
That seems like a hard job.
It's a lot of travel. I'm not about it.
Oh, you more a homebody?
Yeah, I grew up here. I grew up in the area. I like to stay here.
Gregory did too, right? You were down the road from us.
Oh, yep. We've known each other since we was yay high.
It's hard to find good friends like that you know, last a lifetime.
I
Friendship.
guess. I suppose.
Walter. Copper says she blows it in the next 15 minutes.
Why would I take that bet?
There's a possibility she may blow it sooner than 15 minutes.
Make a performance check, Noah.
14.
Okay. So, Nula does in fact not blow it in the next 15 minutes. Nula and Eldon spend the next, 2 hours talking. She, continues to feed him drinks. Are you also drinking with Eldon?
Very, very, very slowly.
Okay. So, this exchange happens. Alar leans over to Walter. Whatever the amount of gold
One
was.
copper that she
One
blows
copper
it.
she blows it the next 15 minutes. Smash cut 2 hours later. Eldon is like, hey, it's just everybody just wants to be happy. That's all there is. What else is important in life but happiness? You. Steven doesn't know. Steven's a shit. But you know about happiness. That's all that's important, right?
Happiness.
Everybody they just want to settle down, live a life,
And find love.
and find love. To love everybody. And it's getting a little late, so the people who are still here.
writing down this whole thing from a third person perspective,
people-
just
At this point, LR is 3/4 in his cups as well. Like, love.
The bar
Hey,
is drunk, and they're like, love. He He says, I was never so lucky. He says, now Gregory, he could charm the pants off a belt salesman, that one. Not me, no. It was never my gig. But it's alright, I got good work. I'm still young. I'm only 30. You know, people are living to like 42 these days. It's just great. It's great. Oh, there's still time. I know it. I know it's true.
He's quite the charmer, isn't he?
Yeah.
Ever charm you?
No. Don't. Come on.
Come on.
No,
You're a good
stop.
catch.
Stop it.
You're a good catch.
Well, I am, but it's not. He's not even interested.
You sure?
We cast a message at him and be like, yes, he is.
What the hell is this? Steven! You have something to do with this? Steven's like...
Sleep. I try and stomp on his foot. I'm drunk off my ass, so I'm probably going to miss horribly. I'll roll at disadvantage. Oh god, no, I actually do manage to step on your foot, kind of like, hey!
Oh, come on, it's fine.
No.
Yes, you guys.
I don't know. I think you could be the catch of his life.
We would come. Look, listen.
I'm listening.
She's good at that.
Puts down his tankard, knocking like 4 of the other ones askew. It's not easy, you know. These affairs of the heart.
No, not easy.
We've been friends since we was his heart. We didn't have fancy sailor outfits at the time, but
Well, you said the river. No river work.
You just evolved into Jack Sparrow.
look, Jack Sparrow is what happens when you're a British guy and you're drunk all the time. Savvy.
Where's the copyright police?
Johnny Depp's gonna kick the window right now. None of that.
Listen. No, I don't even know. I don't even know if he's like that. And we've been friends. We've been friends since we was little. What if I said something and he didn't feel the same way? What if he didn't? I'd rather. It's more important that he's my friend. I don't want to mess that up. It's too risky. No.
It's a tough decision, but how are you gonna know unless you ask?
Well, what if I ask and he doesn't? He.
What if you did it tonight? You go right up to his door tonight, and worst comes to worst, it's all a big drunken mistake in the morning.
Minor illusion, a version of AR behind the guard, but in her view.
So he actually, he kind of like, you see him he's getting kind of upset, and he as you sort of like you've pushed this a little too long now, you get the impression, and he kind of stands up and he says, listen, I don't know who you think you are, but I'll not be told how to live my life.
I dissipate the illusion before he turns around.
He kind of gets up and he says, just stay out of it. He, like, stumbles his way out of the bar and leaves. And you are left with a not insignificant bar tab.
How much did you lose at the gambling? You didn't play.
She didn't play.
That's
I
right.
did not play. No.
And he leaves the room.
finish the drink.
Okay.
Hey, Lark, did we just witness? You were the Radiant Dawn's a paladin group, right? Did you just pressure a guy into like drunkenly confessing his love for his coworker?
To be fair, what else does the Radiant Dawn really do? I mean, they stand, they're at that camp.
It's a wall.
It's not a wall.
Look, Walter.
Says a disembodied voice.
They're at this camp, and all they do is they fight God's awful monster, and they pray. They gotta have something else to do, right?
Matchmaking.
Apparently, Nula's hobby is
Alright.
dragging two random guards together and trying to get them to date.
I mean,
Let's
to
say-
be fair, so far she hasn't been wrong.
There was something there.
You pushed too hard.
You should have used guidance.
Now we just have to go talk to Gregory.
Gregory.
This
Oh no.
this has to be handled
Deliberately.
quietly, slowly, easy.
And with a little.
All I'm hearing is that our next task is
Regular
talk to
Gregory's house.
Gregory and set up the perfect date.
I now have 2 hours of information all
Yep.
about Eldon.
Oh, yeah.
We can set this up.
With
Why does
our
the
powers
DM have a
combined-
1,000-yard stare right now?
No, it's-
He's just like, what have I done?
You don't even. I got plans within plans. I got so many items in the fire, you don't even believe it.
I throw
Just-
Alar over my shoulder and just put like a whole bunch of money down.
Okay.
Just a fistful of cash.
So you guys begin to like gather yourselves up and go to head back. The
Oh.
bar has screw the associate weasels here. The bar has fairly well emptied out for the night. The kind of the last poor schlubs are clearing out as you guys are there.
Steven there?
Yeah, as you like turn to leave, Steven.
Mage hand to pants him.
Steven is Steven is like he's like against the bar near the door. He's like,
Yeah, no, he's getting pants. just as he goes to the walkway, just
okay. You go ahead and roll a dexterity check for your mage hand.
come on, that 20. It'll be fun. Dex is +2, so 8.
8. You pull down Steven's pants, and he has the single largest. No, I'm just kidding.
Everybody's uncomfortable. We're leaving now.
No.
Misty step again.
No, so you do not successfully pull down Steven's pants. He makes like a play at Nula as like, hey, I guess all the other prospects left, just you and me, right? But it's real awful. And as you get near him, he smells just terrible. You don't know why or how it's even possible for him to smell as bad as he does, but he does, and you actually make a Constitution check for me.
Do we all have to make it? This is like just her.
No, just specifically.
Nat 20.
Okay, he seems to have
Well,
the ability
everybody
to
else has
direct
good
it
dice.
somehow. Okay, he just smells very bad, and you hate it, and you are filled with the desire never to interact with this NPC
Did
again.
she have to put Alar down? Like physically put him down?
Yeah, she was carrying Alar out because Alar is wasted.
She can carry Alar.
Does Alar? Oh, it's just.
I mean,
If you're unconscious, do you automatically fail con saves?
I have no idea.
You
Probably.
Oh, you're gonna throw up on Nula's fresh armor?
You probably put him down outside the bar when we go, wait, there's 4 of us and there were 5.
That's an excellent point. I was so engrossed in this nonsense that was happening, I didn't notice that armor was missing.
As they notice that, and they turn back, Alar is also gone.
What?
Wait.
What's happening? Well, I'm the DM. Even I don't know what the hell's going on right now. I guess that's a good place to stop. Because I got to talk to my players behind the scenes to figure out what the shit is happening right now.
I was in a bar.
Okay.
Really
well,
nice
Didn't
one.
I put something down?
As
They're gone, and
as
now
they-
Eldon
as
and
they do
Gregory
that-
are coming with us.
So like, they're like, where did he go? To like, just jump cut to like an alley, and Bram is like smacking Alar awake.
Yeah. I was in a bar.
don't go any further. With this is the cliffhanger. We will pick that up next week.
That was where I wanted to end it.
I'm so sad I missed all of that.
So go ahead and pass those votes around for D20. So we got a bunch of people have been talking in Twitch chat tonight. I love all of you. If you are just joining us for the first time, if you don't know how this works, we do a thing called the Golden D20. I have a Golden D20, and every week we have the players cast votes for somebody who did something exceptionally like cool or funny or like a great bit of role play or something like that. And whoever gets the most votes for the next week gets to control the Golden D20, which is a free natural 20 on any roll that they choose to use it for within the confines of that session. So as these guys hand me their notes here, you guys in the chat can feel free to vote along. We will take audience votes into account in the event of a tie. And I want to give another thank you to our sponsors, Little Dragon Corp and Marble Moon Studio in the 8th House. Thank you guys for allowing us to keep this show going. And please, 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 to our viewers, check out their stuff and give them your patronage. They are awesome and they deserve it. Also, search for us, Tabletop Legends, on all sorts of social medias.
But especially TikTok.
But especially TikTok. Maybe not, because I quickly realized that I don't think I have it in my heart or soul to keep up with that. I physically, like, I feel like I'm like Father Time, to like, just turning to dust as I try to figure out TikTok. Alrighty, so votes from the party here for the Golden D20. I have a vote for Ronnie. Nope, I got nothing.
Ronnie. Period.
Or I think this word says puce dress.
Putrid?
No, it's definitely the word puce.
It's
I
not my
think.
note. It's not my note
Well-
here.
It is a distress. I am so sorry for my inability to write words.
Ronnie.
Ronnie for Pew Stress.
Four. The F is too far away from the rest of the word or, and it looks like a shitty attempt at an 8. So I got very confused as to what this was supposed to say.
Ronnie 8 more votes.
It's in code.
Maybe I should start having you guys text me your votes for the Golden D20.
If they're not legible, then they don't count.
And we have to wait for the cell service.
Nula for not even trying to defend bitch ass Steven. Nula for very forcefully trying to get two guys to date? Question mark. Nula for something shipping.
Greldon.
Greldon?
Get the gym there.
Greldon shipping. I like Eldery personally, but that's just me.
Elder.
Bram for double D20s, ... and for writing a note.
Triple D20s.
Triple
Yeah.
D20s. And Nula for Sugar Muffin. Nula/Sugar Muffin for romantic pursuit. So Nula, in a landslide victory, takes the
I
golden
know what I'm
D20
using
for
that
next week.
D20 for.
Jesus Christ. Alrighty, so congratulations.
She's
to
just
you
gonna go
for
to be
next
like,
week.
you guys should bang.
Why don't you just keep that and she knows where to find Gregory?
I guess that's probably the case. Okay, so thank you guys for joining us. There was bits got donated. I was so enthralled in the mystical tapestry of words that I was weaving that I didn't catch it. But thank you guys for bits tonight. Thank everybody for joining us. Please join us again next week right here on Proficiency Bonus' Twitch channel for Tabletop Legends as we see where... at this point, I guess screw the campaign that I wrote because this is just Tabletop Legends, the story of how we ship guards, and we'll see where that goes. Alrighty, well, thank you guys for joining us. We will see you guys next week. Go find us on places and follow us.
On other places.
The end. Goodbye.